I am Jennifer Igwe. Welcome to another edition of Newsline. Now, the quest for power and wealth has pushed many into appalling endeavors. The gruesome nature of ills involved and inhuman considerations are mind-boggling. On Newsline, we highlight these cases as a reminder that the law will deal mercilessly with those who opt for this wrong path. So on our lineup today, we have a story on a man's desperate quest for power to make him invincible and how it cost a boy his eye. There's also an update on a 4-year-old girl who was rescued by the police in Akwa Ibom State after she was abducted by a neighbor. Sadly, these days, some do not love their neighbors as themselves. Yes. Now, even family members who you think cannot hurt a fly may end up dealing your child and family devastating blows. A story on how a trusted uncle raped an 11-year-old girl is an eye-opener. We are also highlighting the creativity of children with special needs, plus a child that needs our help to beat cataract, including the plight of a riverine community in Benin, the Edo State capital, and a fishing pond in Benue State that has changed from source of conflict to center for fishing festival. I need to pause now for the news segment. Elizabeth Omoruye will take it from Abuja. I'll be back after the news. Over to you, Lizzie.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. Repairs on the Abuja-Kaduna rail track damaged by bandits is progressing steadily with personnel working tirelessly. Haruna Mohammed reports that the Inspector General of Police, Usman Al-Khalibaba, paid unscheduled visits to the area to reassure the workers of their safety. Equipment have been deployed to ensure quality job. Repairs are expected to be completed on time to enable restoration of train services along the corridor. The rising complexities of insecurity within Nigeria require increased focus on peace building and conflict resolution. This was the opinion of stakeholders at the 3rd Northern Nigeria Peace Conference and Award 2022 put together by Peace Ambassador Agency in Abuja. Hammond Germany reports.
For 10 years, Peace Ambassadors Agency worldwide has been contributing to peace building through its program, the Education Project, where youths are educated on peaceful conduct. The conference and award are avenue for interest groups and peace ambassadors to bring up workable possibilities and ways of achieving a peaceful society.
What is happening? What is happening to our country? Is it leadership? Is it lack of information? Is it education? People are dying every day. Now, the essence of this is for people to come together, sit down, dialogue, discuss way forward. How can we create a unified Nigeria?
Speakers say the knowledge of conflict resolution through dialogue is lacking in the consciousness of many Nigerians due to the lack of proper information and training.
Organizations were simply looking for money to do frivolous things, but these ones are looking for money to promote peace in Nigeria, and it's highly commendable.
When you are faced with this kind of state of war in every nation, citizens must support the government to make sure that we succeed.
In their own little way, they are contributing to ensuring that peace is guaranteed in our nation.
We cannot grow as a nation without peace. Security is much more important in this country at this point.
This year's event has 38 award recipients, including Deputy Speaker, House of Representatives, and many other notable personalities. Hammond Germany, NTA News.
Still on peace building, Anambra State government has convened a peace building and security dialogue to bring an end to restiveness and violence in Anambra and Southeast region at large. This was at the instance of the state governor, Professor Chukwuma Soludo in Oka. Ndemkalo reports.
Stakeholders including Joint Body of Southeast Council of Traditional Rulers, bishops and archbishops gathered to find ways towards peace and restoration of normalcy.
After the peaceful ones have come out, if you're then adamant, being a criminal, we do to you, we deal with you the way criminals are dealt with. Because we cannot hold the entire society to ransom.
Chairman of Anambra State and Southeast Traditional Rulers Council, Igwe Nnemeka Achebe, urged all affected victims of insecurity in the Southeast in the past 3 years to step forward and cooperate with the Truth and Reconciliation Commission that will be inaugurated by Anambra State government.
The government and good people of Anambra State hereby offer the olive branch for you, for them, all to return and empower you to contribute to our hopes.
The meeting attracted representatives from various groups in the Southeast. In Oka, Ndemkalo, NTA News.
Now to politics. The People's Redemption Party has re-elected Malam Falalu Bello from Kaduna State as its national chairman for another term of office. This was at the party's national convention in Abuja. Timothy Yusuf reports.
Former chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Tairu Jega, from Kebbi State, is among the delegates to this convention. That elected the 24-member National Working Committee of the PRP. The officers were all elected by consensus. 2 positions, the office of the National Vice Chairman Southeast and that of the National Youth Leader, however, failed to scale through the consensus affirmative voice votes as they were rejected. Falalu Bello, on behalf of the National Working Committee, reassured members that the PRP will remain on the side of the masses, in line with the ideology of his founding father, the late Madam Aminu Kano.
We shall do our best as your servants, in your service as leaders of the People's Redemption Party, and as an opposition party, which the People's Redemption Party is. We shall tell the government what they are doing right.
Delegates, including former INEC chairman Professor Tairu Jega, believe that the convention has set the tone for the party to relaunch itself into more recognition and growth.
A long time ago, our mentor, our father, the late Malam Aminu Kano, said that the PRP is the party of the future. And the future begins now.
INEC officials were on ground to observe the national convention. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
Meanwhile, efforts towards the attainment of best practices for inclusive elections in Nigeria have begun in Abuja. Once again, Timothy Yusuf reports.
We should be celebrating the mark that we have been able to reach in the electoral reform.
Findings show that Nigeria suffers from declining civic participation in elections, with women, youth and persons with disability being the most affected. Convener of this round table believes that the trend can be reversed.
By Nigeria's population statistics, you do have a 50-50 range in the gender distribution, and a situation where you have about 50% of your population only able to participate in very minuscule percentage raises a major concern.
Developing a shared understanding of the issue of declining civic engagement in Nigeria and agreeing on best practices for inclusive elections as the 2023 general elections draw nearer is the priority of this gathering. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
The State House has reacted to what it calls a fantasy communique by the People's Democratic Party, calling it a delusional work of fiction seeking to cover the failures of the PDP while in government. A statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, rails out issues of corruption, religious prejudice, ethnicity, and prevalent herder-farmer clashes as some of the downside of the former ruling party, which it says the APC government is working to bring to the barest and build safer communities for the citizens. The statement adds that with the APC's transparency policy, it is not business as usual for greedy politicians who stash their monies in foreign accounts, as the administration ensures that both businessmen and politicians invest in the nation's economy for the benefit of all Nigerians and the strengthening of the nation's currency. The statement acknowledged the impact of COVID-19 on the global economy, which came with hardship, and celebrates Nigeria's economic recovery, which it says was faster and stronger than the entire world ever imagined. In other news, no fewer than 9.5 million tablets of pharmaceutical opiates, including tramadol, dried cut leaves, and extra 5 worth over 5 billion naira have been cut off the supply in Nigeria. The illicit substances were seized at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos, the Federal Capital Territory and Edo State in a combined effort of the NDLEA operatives and the Nigerian Customs Service. In a related development, a Brazilian returnee has been arrested at the Port Harcourt International Airport for alleged possession of 8.15 kilograms of cocaine concealed in 6 factory-sewn bedsheets, making it the largest seizure since the airport began operation. 17 suspects were also arrested during a nationwide operation conducted by the NDLEA for alleged drug dealing, while 7 clusters of dry-season cannabis sativa farms in Ukwejo Forest, Edo State, were destroyed. A team of patrol operatives of the Federal Road Safety Corps, comprising an officer, a driver and 2 other staff on patrol along Igboku Uga in Anambra State, were attacked by unknown gunmen, leading to the death of 2 personnel with 1 sustaining severe injuries. In a statement, the Corps Marshal, Dr. Boboye Oyemi, decried the attack and condoles with the families of the deceased, the unit commander and management of the Corps over the loss. Oyemi says the Corps is already working with the Nigerian police and other relevant security agencies to ensure that the perpetrators of this wicked act are arrested and allowed to face the full weight of the law. The Nigeria Deposit Insurance Corporation says it has paid 119.1 billion naira as insured sums to 535,815 depositors, creditors, and shareholders of closed banks as of December 29, 2021. Chinenye Moye reports that the managing director of NDIC, Mr. Bello Hassan, who was represented, disclosed this during the NDIC Day at the ongoing 33rd Enugu International Trade Fair.
The purpose of the deposit insurance system is to protect depositors and guarantee the settlement of insured funds when a deposit-taking financial institution can no longer repay their deposits, thereby helping to maintain financial system stability. The Nigeria Insurance Corporation, NDIC, is an independent agency of the federal government known for protecting depositors against the loss of their insured deposits in the event of the failure of an NDIC-insured bank. Managing Director NDIC represented said the corporation has made full payment of insured and uninsured sums to depositors of 18 banks in liquidation.
A total of 101.117 billion has been paid to uninsured sums. This implies that the corporation has realized liquidation dividends to all depositors of the banks who present themselves for payment.
The mandate of NDIC, according to him, is focused on the protection of depositors, especially small and less sophisticated ones, against the risk of bank failure.
Able to report all cases of dubious activities by banks to both the NDIC and the CBN.
While applauding NDIC for discharging its duties effectively, President Enugu Chamber of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture, ESIMA, noted that the corporation had, through its excellent interventions, made people to forget the negative effects of bank failure.
It is worthy of note that for so long, we have all forgotten what bank failure feels like, and we owe this to NDIC.
Some key players of the corporation were present at the event. In Enugu, Chinenye Nwoye, NTA News.
And away from financial matters, Gombe State is set to commence enrollment for the second phase of the Basic Healthcare Provision Fund. Executive Secretary of the National Health Insurance Scheme, Professor Mohammed Nasir Sambo, revealed this in Gombe during a stakeholders engagement required for the implementation of the second phase. Emmanuel Akila reports that Gombe State used the occasion to launch a mobile application technology to fast-track the process.
Being a signatory to the universal health coverage, Nigeria is using structures in the states to implement the agreement through the Basic Health Care Provision Fund. Gombe State has met the requirements to access the funds for the second phase.
Gombe State agency has gone further to cover the formal sector, that is the employees of the public sector within the state. And if you listen to the governor, they are making a lot of effort to ensure that they bring the employees of the local government to also join the system.
The state launches a healthcare mobile application technology to enhance the process.
One feature of the health mobile application technology is that enrollees of the insurance scheme can book an appointment with their health providers from the comfort of their homes.
With the ease of the mobile app, people can be in their shops, can be at their farms, can be in their places of work, and be able to get themselves enrolled into the scheme without having to look for the office or looking for a form to fill before they can get themselves enrolled.
Governor Muhammad Ino Yahaya pledged unrelenting effort to strengthen the social health care scheme he has set up in the state.
Go health beneficiaries enjoy effective medical consultations, admissions, provision of regular medications, and surgical operations, all at no cost to them.
Beneficiaries testify to the workability of the system that has saved them out-of-pocket healthcare expenditure, which they could not afford. In Gombe, Emmanuel Akila, NTA News.
Now, the clamor of women to transverse in men-dominated world came to play as women of Methodist Church of Nigeria, Cathedral of Peace and Unity celebrate Mother's Day with an investiture of the 2022 Golden Mother. Ngozi Technica reports that the annual event is used to recognize and encourage outstanding women in furtherance of the gospel.
Mother's Day on a Sunday is a ritual in the Orthodox Christendom, which places premium on women to take charge of church and other activities, even in men's world. The 2022 celebration of Mother's Day in Methodist Church centered on no exemption as the colorful ceremony witnessed the investiture of the Golden Mother of the Year, Princess Chinyere Onyema. Admonishing the women on the topic, strength in adversity, the female preacher tasked them to live above the present adversity for a better tomorrow.
So, we as women, particularly, and Christians in general, are expected to see beyond our challenges.
We are so unique, we are special, we are lovely, we are nice, we are so caring. So if you find this kind of women, you need to celebrate them.
The celebrant and her husband, Ifeanyi Chukwusa, described the investiture as faith strengthening.
This calls for love, creating unity, and above all, serving God with the whole of my heart.
This award reinforces our belief, our commitment in doing the things of God, in serving God.
Other forms of space by the women times the event. Thank you. NTA.
And away from Women Affairs, Minister of Communications and Digital Economy Professor Isali Pantami and the President of Microsoft, Brad Smith, have agreed that establishing the African Digital Center in Lagos, an artificial intelligence cultural heritage project to give global access to 3 Nigerian languages, are crucial to Nigeria's digital transformation. Chimdinma Ndubisi reports that Microsoft is expected to expand its operations in Nigeria and boost the transfer of digital skills to youth across the country in a multi-level approach.
To building out digital infrastructure here, we're committed to internet connectivity. We have 3 partnerships now moving forward to expand broadband connectivity in different parts of Nigeria. So we believe in the future of Nigeria.
On behalf of our government, I want to give you our assurance that we will continue to provide an enabling environment for business in Nigeria. We have over 36 major initiatives to support ease of doing business.
The minister explained that he had met with the Governor of Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, to resolve challenges in licensing and service payment that the Microsoft team experienced. And next, some sporting stories.
Nigeria will join other 71 nations and territories to participate in the 2022 Commonwealth Games in Birmingham, United Kingdom from July 28 to August 8. A statement from the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports Development on Sunday indicates that Nigeria has so far qualified for athletics, boxing, judo, para-athletics and para-powerlifting. Others are para-table tennis, weightlifting and wrestling. The statement adds that athletes will be called to camp in May, while trials for selection of eligible athletes in various disciplines will be concluded on or before April 25, 2022. Meanwhile, Chairman of Katsina State Football Association, Aminu Korufi, has faulted Super Eagles technical crew on Nigeria's ouster from Qatar 2022 World Cup race, even as he advises that preparation for the next Mundial begins immediately.
We have young, talented players. Before next 4 years, those who are under 15, they are 20 years. Those who are under 17, they are 22 or 23 years. They have experience. And those who are under 23, they are 27 years. And the lucky ones who are still young can add an experience and add value to the upcoming ones.
In the quest to reposition sports development in schools, the Association of Former Athletes of Nigeria, AFAN, has officially unveiled the first ever netball court in Nigeria and netball equipment to be distributed to other schools in the federation.
Put your hands together, please. We are sending out the equipment to tertiary institutions, to secondary schools, to zonal centers, for them to be able to construct netball courts and use this equipment. It's important for us to spread the game of netball through the states and the schools.
And I've watched the game over, wishing the game is in Nigeria, and now it's in Nigeria, and me being part of the first that is playing the game, to me is an honor.
I'm happy that netball is now back in Nigeria. We discussed it many times, and finally it has come to stay.
The ceremony, which took place at the Old Parade Ground, Abuja, was tagged AFAN Revamp Netball. That sports update. I am Kenen Ima Aborike, NTA News.
President Muhammad Buhari has expressed grief over the death of Eunice Ndanasa Isaiah, the mother of the leadership newspaper founder and publisher, Mr. Sam Unda Isaiah, who died in December 2020. Reacting to the news in a statement, President Buhari said Mama Ndanasa's demise is particularly painful, coming a year after the death of her first son, which is a difficult thing to bear for a family. The president sends his deepest sympathies at this difficult and trying moment for the family and prays for the repose of her soul. And that's the news segment. It's time to take a first break, but do remember you can follow us live on our website, nta.ng/live, and on other social media platforms displayed on the screen. Jennifer will be back shortly. To stay with us.
Welcome back.
Now, have you noticed that regardless of the situation in Nigeria, we always try to make ourselves happy and comfortable? This peculiarity is one that dwellers of riverine communities keep portraying. Despite the deficit in basic amenities, they still find ways to keep life running with hope that someday the government will make life better for them. Goodluck Enani, who was on a road trip to a riverine community in Ovia Southwest area of Edo State to feel the plight of the people, now reports.
Unikoroa prides itself as a home of peace. It is enveloped in an aquatic ecosystem that showcases its elegance, thereby making the over 15,000 population who are into farming and fishing to see themselves as the pride of the minorities in Edo State. 6 months ago, when NTA crew visited this community to see how they are coping as a typical riverine settlement blessed with abundant natural resources, the absence of basic social amenities as roads infrastructure, healthcare delivery, and electricity were noticed. This is our second visit, and nothing has changed except for the solar power which NTA News learned came through communal efforts. The inhabitants say they have no access to NIM and INEC registration exercises.
The registration exercise, as from this place, there is nothing going on.
Many people that were not qualified, were not qualified that time, the last election that are qualified now, do not have the opportunity to be registered. And so in the next election, they are definitely will be disenfranchised.
Riding through the 20-kilometer road linking Inukurua to other communities awarded years ago revealed the project was abandoned.
We are in an agrarian community where our lands are very fertile. Because of the road, half of the population has migrated to different areas.
Not discouraged by this development, the people took it upon themselves to regularly rehabilitate the road, with one of the leaders, Robert Okubo, leading.
Community executive under the chairmanship of Timmy Roberts. So they supported me in making this place motorable. I want to call on the state governments and the federal government to come to our aid. Let them assist us.
The road, they bad. Sometimes 2-3 days, people still dey road with their crops. Say make their carry come out. It take a lot of time.
The beauty of Inukurua, many say, lies dormant, waiting to be explored and enhanced. This is the request and expectations of the people from both the state and federal government.
Relevant authorities should do something to change the narrative of the people. We will surely follow up on that story. Now, the recent fire outbreak at Eko Bridge that led to loss of properties as well as government infrastructure worth millions of naira has drawn attention to other bridges across Lagos. Amako visited some bridges within Lagos, under the bridges in the Lagos metropolis, and tells us more.
This is what is left of the popular Eko Bridge built in 1975. The remote cause of the disaster, some attribute to sighting of business activities under the bridge. There are other bridges across Lagos. What happens under these bridges? I had an interaction with some persons I met. Sunday Ishola shared his experience.
Come here around 3 o'clock or 4:30. You can see them here, they are perfect. Sometimes if I come here around 3:30, to come and work here, I will be crying. But no, woman be like me, I know how many years I stay here in this under bridge before God assist me, bless me. And I move away.
So how many years did you stay on that?
Me? Let me say, I won't tell you that I stay here since 2001. Let me say 2004, 5.
What about those earning a living under the bridge?
I have a landlord problem. That's why my brother accommodates me to just managing here.
For most of them, the cost of renting a shop is beyond their means, and just like the affected traders on the Eco Bridge, they pay taxes to the appropriate authorities, though no official confirmation to this claim.
Both local government, we dey pay lawma, we dey pay local government, we dey pay food and beverage, we dey pay lockup.
All those people will come and collect it. The government workers, they will come and ask your paper. If you pay, they will leave you.
There's no provision of where we are going, and we don't know what is our fate.
And wishing these persons an improved standard of living is stating the minds of these occupants of under the bridges, who would not mind preferable options and are desirous of assistance from well-meaning Nigerians and government at all levels to alleviate their plight.
Interestingly, some have made under bridges in Lagos their abode, with negative consequences on their lives, the environment, and society. And we hope all that will change soon. Now, be a part of their world. Make them feel loved and appreciated. This is the appeal to the public as the world commemorates this year's Autism Day with focus on inclusion in workplace. Abolade Salami spent a day with some autistic children in Lagos recently. He says they are indeed blessed with special gifts.
Autism spectrum disorder is a neurodevelopmental disorder that distorts the communication and social interaction skills of a person. The disorder is mainly caused by genetics and biological differences in brain development. The disability most times results in the discrimination of those living with the condition.
Christine is here today because she can just paint. She's paint. She's living with autism, but she paints. So the world will know you. You will leave your footprints on the sands of time because of your strength.
So, I mean, the work that we do is to try and make sure that we give an opportunity to kids like them, kids who are, artistic but autistic, and give them the right platform. So, yeah, it's a very worthy cause.
While many of those special people are subjected to unnecessary segregation, they are breaking the bars with their imaginative prowess.
2022. Like Mr. King, it's a purple, black, white, red, and black. I like it. Anything else? I like the cartoon.
18-year-old Daniel Okole is autistic, but doing great things with his hands through painting. My interaction with him was a revealing journey into his intellectual capability.
This message I'm trying to bring is to show people that how people will face their challenge and become the best because they know they can do it.
While you think you've heard it all from Daniel, these children are also masters in their space. Providing the needed care, support, and show of love to these special children have been identified as therapy for effective management of the condition.
Look beyond the challenges of the child and find the strength that that child carries. Find the gifts that that child carries and, channel it into something productive. Don't keep our children at home, please. Bring them out. Let us give you all the support that is needed for these children.
It's good to see people that have autism come and display their craft and talent in ways that even people that are not challenged in any way can't. So it's good to celebrate them and put their work out and let people know that, okay, although these people may be challenged in one way or the other, that doesn't stop them from doing extraordinary things.
This year's theme of World Autism Awareness Day is inclusion in the workspace.
Now, love, care, and patience go a long way in helping children with autism and others with special needs. So like they said in that report, don't hide our children, bring them out and let us see their creativity. Now to a child that needs our help. Vision plays a critical role in all facets of life. Unfortunately, some persons are often robbed of this all-important gift of nature, either through eyes eye diseases or other occurrences. One of such diseases that could cause vision impairment is cataract, which ophthalmologists say is more susceptible to persons above 40 years. Interestingly, children can also develop the disease at birth. Justina Etim brings us a situation report of 10-month-old Treasure Thomas, who was born with cataract. His mother cannot afford the 215,000 naira required for surgery to restore his sight.
Little Treasure Thomas was born with spots of blood in his eyes. Treasure was diagnosed with cataract, an eye defect an ophthalmologist says can only be corrected through surgery.
Cataracts often develop slowly with a gradual decline in vision that cannot be corrected with glasses.
Knowing the cause of her son's blindness and the fact that it can be remedied is a relief of sorts. But getting the funds for the removal of the cataracts is now the setback, as neither Chioma Thomas, the mother of the baby, nor the father, who lost his job during the NSAS protest, can afford.
At the age of 3 months, I start seeing there's a white thing that covered the main sight. Now, even though I do my baby, he cannot look straight to my eye. You'll be looking, searching where the noise is coming from. So when I went to health tech, the man wrote and said that he cannot, that General Hospital cannot handle my son's situation. That where they can handle is teaching. Anyone that can help me for my child to see again.
The Cross River State government, through its eye care program, provides eye surgery for indigents at a subsidized rate. Unfortunately, Treasure is not eligible for this.
We have provision for children 8 years and above.
The fate of little Treasure Thomas now lies in the hands of good-spirited members of the public.
Treasure and his mother are counting on well-meaning Nigerians. Please, let's assist them. Now to a case of abuse. A house help who was locked outside the gate in the middle of the night in Asaba is making the news. Ifeoma Okafor brings us the report.
In the old days, locking disobedient child outside the home could be used as a punitive measure to discipline the child. In this era of civilization, insecurity and advent of social media, this action could have grave consequences.
See time. This is 12:18 a.m. Madam, lock the housemaid, person picking. Somebody lock somebody's daughter outside by this time of the night. How can you lock somebody's daughter outside by this time of the night? And you go in.
This video of child abuse has dominated the social media space. The househelp was allegedly locked out at midnight by the madam of the house, and the husband of the woman was infuriated by this wicked act.
But what has she done wrong?
I don't know. You're not the girl, no. Do this one, no. I'm happy.
This is pure wickedness. On a lonely road like this girl was stranded, locked out outside her gate. Oh, look at her shivering. She sent her out to go and get something. Coming back, she locked her outside.
To go and sell.
Effort to get the couple talk to the press was unsuccessful. Commander of the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons and the Permanent Secretary, Delta State Ministry of Women Affairs, Community and Social Development are doing the needful.
The moment we have carried out our investigation, they will take steps to prosecute anybody that is involved. But outside that, we will always make sure that the girl, child, or the person, the victim in question is protected.
Delta State has domesticated the child rights law, and that law ensures the safety, well-being, and protection of every child in Delta State. So definitely issues like this always occur. And so when the victims are seen or when the perpetrators are seen, they are charged to court, and the court takes a decision on what should happen to them.
The outcome of the investigation of the child abuse will determine the weight of the prosecution.
Thank God she was spotted by well-meaning Nigerians. I mean, it could have been something ugly. We'll take a break now. Newsline will continue shortly. Welcome back. Through dialogue, a fishing pond that has been a source of tension and conflicts between Agatu communities in Benue State for over 50 years has been turned into a location for fishing festival. The pace, which was brokered by a non-governmental organization, Center for Humanitarian Dialogue, emphasized the strength of unity for a rebirth of brotherhood, love, and social integration among the people. Correspondent Moses Ode reports that the return of peace to the once deserted Agatu communities and is now making the place bubble with activities.
The Unification Fishing Festival by the Ologba and Egba communities in Agatu local government area of Benue State. It is assumed that peace has finally returned.
After several failed attempts of bringing to an end the long violent conflict between the Egba and Ologba communities of Agatu local government area of Benue State, peace has returned as the Center for Humanitarian Dialogue has succeeded in bringing the seemingly elusive peace. To demonstrate the newfound unity, the two communities had a joint fishing festival on the pond, which had been a source of hostility among the neighboring communities who are predominantly farmers and fishermen. Close to 50 years, these communities had lived in violent clashes over ownership of this fish pond that had led to the killings of innocent lives and destruction of property.
We carry spear and cut right. Then we cut the glass. We will dig the glass, go down small, we will see the water, see how the fish has building house there.
Today we are witnessing that signing of that agreement by fishing together with the Ologba, and we said never again should we carry a gun to kill one another.
There's water there. The problem is that there's mud on top of the water.
As a result, meaningful activities could not take place as markets and schools remained closed. But all those changed with the mapping of the Agatu natural resources by the Center for Humanitarian Dialogue in 2021 and the subsequent resolutions of both communities to embrace peace.
For us, this is unprecedented. These are committed people. They have had this problem for the last 50 years. So as an organization, the Center for Humanitarian is very happy that we have engaged the community.
This is the first time we are seeing implementation of agreements reached, and kudos to the Agatu people and kudos to the leaders of Benue.
I think the fact that they are coming together as all the 22 clans and all the neighboring communities, it shows that they are committed to work towards this peace.
This is unprecedented. This is historic. This is extremely significant.
By this resolution, the fish pond is now open for communal fishing festival among all the 22 clans of Agatu extraction of the Idoma nation. His Royal Majesty Ochidoma V, Agabaidu John Elaigu Odogbo, in company of other stakeholders, harp on the need for peaceful coexistence.
This peace God has given us, nothing will take it away again. We are going to eat together as a family. We are going to work together as a family.
Agatu themselves at this point realize that peace is the ultimate. There is nothing more than peace. Anybody who is here today will know exactly and testify to the joys in the hearts of all of us.
While declaring the festival open, the Benue State Governor, Samuel Otom, represented by his deputy, Benson Abonu, expressed gratitude over the restoration of peace to the communities.
With the intervention of the Humanitarian Dialogue, an international organization that came here in conjunction with the state government, we were able to find a lasting solution to the problem. Today, the people you see here do not come from Egba or Ologba alone. Both Ologba and Egba are here together.
To a non-native, at first sight, The Agatu fishing pond appears like an ordinary meshy land, but the people say fish dwell underneath the mud.
With an ambience of peace and harmony, a lot can be achieved. The rich culture and economic potential of Igbo Kingdom, Cotton Cafe, Kogi State, featured extensively at the community's cultural and fishing festival tagged Ohiogbani 2022. Ajibola Christopher was there to enjoy the sights and sounds.
People of Igbo Kingdom are known to be fishermen, farmers, hunters, and traders who live along rivers Niger and Benue in Cotton Cafe. Youths, the elderly, and even children in their hundreds from various quarters of Igbo land converged on Ohiogbani community for the age-long festival, which happens only once in a year. The excitement and tempo rising by large number of youth submerged in the water in their effort to come out with a big catch.
We want to tell the whole world that Kogi State, under the watch of His Excellency Alhaji Ayadoza Bello, has a very rich cultural heritage that can attract tourists and people from far and near.
We are always happy that we are showcasing our culture to the outside world. Come to Cotton Cafe and come to the home of fish.
The cultural and fishing festival had attracted guests from across the state and beyond who were there to catch a glimpse of this cultural feat.
Culture and heritage, we are showcasing it now. You can see the hardworking men and women that have been in the river since morning, and then of course we can see the dividends right in front of us.
It has afforded us an opportunity, a window, not only to showcase our culture and custom to the world, but to also tell the world that tourism is a money spinner.
Because we're in the era of technology, we should see a way to empower the fishermen, a modern technology of fishery. We only need government support for this program to continue to annual, and of course, the fishermen should be exposed to modern system of fishing.
So you can see an average group of people living settled very close to water. We dominated the Confluence River down to River Niger.
Because in other states, even in advanced countries, this is how they start and they become whatever they are today. And I feel it deemed that if the government can come in, I think it will now promote and make the Ibira to be more popular in the entire nation.
They called on government and investors to take advantage of the rich cultural heritage of the state and launch the festival among international tourism activities.
Indeed, we have a lot to offer in terms of cultural heritage. A philosopher once said, it is good to live well so that when the preacher is talking about you, when you've passed on, the preacher won't have to lie. This captures truthful testimonies by family members, former colleagues, close friends, and associates at events held in honor of former Director of News, Nigerian Television Authority, late Gold Oru, who died at the age of 75 and was laid to rest recently. Amakowo has details.
The final journey home of Madam Gold Oru, a one-time Director News and one of the pioneer staff of the Nigerian Television Authority Network, began with a night of tribute held in her honor and organized by the NTA family, attracted past leadership of the organization.
When she joined, she was one of the most qualified people for the job in hand. She had a master's degree in film production
production.
Gold was so fantastic. What I'm saying here is that she had a heart of gold.
She's a very soft, kind-hearted person who cared about others.
The Director General NTA was represented by the Zonal Director NTA 2 Lagos.
For us in NTA Network Center, we will join her former colleagues and everybody to pray for peaceful repose of her soul.
Other former staff of the organization, including the Managing Director Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, took turns to speak.
Amazing boss. I mean, when your boss is your friend, that's a very good person. Under all circumstances, good and bad, she was not just my boss. She was my wife.
She was a classy lady. She was wise. She was circumspect. She was a thoroughbred professional.
Whenever we are working, it's only for a very short time. But it's the life after the work that is more important.
She was diligent. You know, she worked very hard.
What she has taught us and the lessons that we have learned, we put them into practice, so that the world will be a better place.
Tributes also came from the hierarchy of the Catholic Church within and outside the Archdiocese of Lagos at the service of songs and funeral mass held in her honor for her unflinching support towards the growth of the Christian faith and humanity.
In all, she had a peaceful exit. A rare journey has gone home.
She is always in the front of helping the poor, anytime that she could do that.
Thanksgiving by family members in company of well-wishers rounded off the funeral mass. Her remains were later interred at the Ikoyi Vaults, where it was really an emotional moment for family members and close friends to say goodbye.
And she touched all the lives of everybody she met, whether directly or indirectly. I can only hope to be, when I'm much, much older, to even be an embodiment of what she was.
She's a mother to all of us and a very diligent one.
May her soul rest in perfect peace. We'll miss her.
You are a human being. Anytime God says you should come, you have no choice.
Madam Gold Oru was born in November 1946. She had a successful career with the Nigerian Television Authority as a reporter, producer of several programs, including Saturday Night with Augusta, and rose to become Director News. She retired in 2006 after a meritorious service. The final call came on 16th of March 2022. Madam Gold, as her colleagues used to address her, will be greatly missed. May her dear soul rest in perfect peace. She indeed affected lives, many, many lives. For Agnes Onu in Onitsha, Igboeze, Ebonyi State, accepting the death of her daughter is like swallowing a bitter pill. Nnenaya Onu was cut down in her prime by suspected relatives because she demanded for her father's inheritance, a right they believe is exclusive to boys and men. Mrs. Onu and her only surviving sibling are struggling hard to take their minds off the ugly incident. Ijoma Wante, who visited the bereaved, reports that all the family wants from relevant agencies now is justice.
It was a sober moment at the site of the grave of late Nnenna Onu in her father's compound, Anike community in Onitsha-Igboeze, Onitsha local government area of Ebonyi State, when Newsline visited her mother and the only surviving sister who fought hard to hold back their tears. Nnenaya, whose sister, Mrs. Juliet Ogbonnaya, said had received messages of threats from her father's relatives since 2018 when their father died, got her left leg cut off by her assailants before setting her ablaze alongside her belongings and that of her mother on the 23rd of December 2021. Nnenaya allegedly committed a taboo by daring to ask for her own share of her father's inheritance, which according to the same relatives that threatened her is meant for male children.
After the burial of my father, they denied us right to everything. The land, even my father's house, I don't know the tenants that occupied the house. So they vowed to deal with my sister. I need justice, a fair justice, because as it stands now, I can't even go to the village. Our crops are wasting.
Meanwhile, the Human Rights Commission, Ebonyi State, has promised to follow the matter to its logical conclusion, while the chairman on Onitsha local government area, Mr. Felix Ibokwe, who said he was not aware about the issue until recently, has set up a committee that will aid the police in finding the killer.
Everything we have to do as a government, everything we have to do as the chief security officer of this local government, we must do it to make sure that justice is done. And about the protection of the family, we are going to give all the necessary support, both to the security, both to the people, to make sure that we unravel the criminals or whosoever that is behind this.
Tinenaya's mother, whose alleged crime is she had no surviving male child, is now left with a daughter, has been assured of thorough investigation by the police. She keeps expressing fears that the case may be swept under the carpet since arrest is yet to be made days after. The deceased, Nena Ono, aged 35, was a graduate of public administration at the Akanibiam Federal Polytechnic. But remember the Ukeje case of 2020. The Supreme Court voided the tradition that forbids girls and women from inheriting properties and whatever that belongs to their family. So we will follow this case up and hopefully justice will be served. We'll take a break now. Newsline will continue shortly. Come back. It is often said that blood is thicker than water. This is to emphasize the measure of responsibility that family members have in caring for and protecting one another. However, with the frequency of rape cases against minors involving trusted family members, one wonders if the statement still holds true. The unfortunate death of an 11-year-old girl after about 3 months of sexual molestation from an uncle and one with disability is stirring further concern about who to trust with vulnerable children. Adeni Taiwo is on the case.
Happened around Igondo area of Lagos State. A man, deaf and dumb, was actually reported to have been molesting his nieces, 3 of them. He has been doing it for quite some time.
Lagos State Police Command Public Relations Officer Benjamin Undeyi there laying out the fact of the case where Peter, a deaf and dumb man, raped 3 of his nieces, leading to the death of one of them on March 22, 2022 in Lagos. For about 3 months, the suspect, now in police custody, was totally deaf and dumb to societal morals and family values as he took undue advantage of 3 siblings aged between 16 and 8, sexually molesting them until one of them, an 11-year-old girl, died from infection. The victims were living with their paternal grandmother in Igondo area of the state when the incident happened.
We took the remaining 2 girls to the hospital for a medical check to ascertain if they've been violated. The results of the examination, it's part of the things that were transferred to the gender unit.
Newsline approached the family for their side of the story, but they refrained, citing the need to protect the remaining 2 victims from media glare. Strange, but not entirely new, this particular crime, in dimension and severity, brings to sharp focus the unfortunate trend of sexual molestation of young, vulnerable children by sexual predators who are their own blood relations. In an African setting, where the upbringing of a child was once a shared responsibility for extended family members, the rising cases of incest and rape raised the question of who can be trusted with the welfare of one's children.
There's nobody I can ever put my children in their hands, because the rape them, if you watch the suspect, is very close person. It's not that far. Sometimes you hear uncle, sometimes you hear gate man, sometimes you hear neighbor.
These days, even with aunties, they are not too safe. Because when we talk about rape now, it's not just a male raping a female or a female raping a male. Sometimes ladies rape a younger. So the issue of rape is becoming alarming.
I trust my mom like a 100%. Because she sees things that's happening online, so she knows what's going on.
But what could be done to discourage the trend of sexual molestation of young children?
I prefer condemned to death or life imprisonment.
We need to pay attention to what our children, particularly they want to tell us about some family members. We also need to pay attention to some, family members that want to groom our children for us. We should not allow them to, be grooming, most especially our children of opposite sex.
While it is crucial that the suspect faces justice for his alleged crime, it is a lot more important that measures are put in place to check the prevalence of such cases in the interest of vulnerable children in our society.
Anyone can be a rapist. Closely monitor your kids and words. Trust no one. Now, the police in Akwa Ibom State have rescued a 4-year-old girl, Aisha, from abductors. Little Aisha was abducted from school in Ikotekbene by a 20-year-old lady who, from investigations, is a neighbor. Clement Barikyu reports.
Suleiman, he returned to pick up his child from school, but Aisha was nowhere to be found. Neither the school authority nor her teacher was able to give account of the whereabouts of Aisha, thanks to a vigilant trader who saw when Aisha was taken away by the neighbor. The swift response of the police led to the rescue of the girl and the arrest of the abductor.
So when I got to Abuja, the boy confronted me with his own people and took my 5-month baby away. So I had to come back to Ikotekbene and take Aisha outside the gate and took to the boys when he changed. And later I had my baby.
She went to her school, took her away, took her to Abuja, and handed her over to an ex-militant in replacement for her own child that was taken.
We are happy. We are very happy. The police people are working very okay. Yes, we are happy to see Aisha.
Also in police net is a 23-year-old fake female police officer.
She alleged that somebody recruited her and trained her for a month. In fact, she said that up to 10. As I speak, the CP has ordered for a very discreet investigation. The person who recruited her, under whatever guise, is in the wrong. But I can assure you that the command's dragnet will soon reach out to him and will bring him to any moment from now.
The suspect will soon have their days in court, even as the police continues manhunt for their accomplices.
Gone are the days when you can trust your neighbors to look out for your children and family. We need to be more vigilant. Now imagine this gross act of barbarism reminiscent of the Dark Ages. A young man approached a ritualist with a request for a magical talisman that will give him a fetish power to be invincible anytime he wishes to. The ritualist did not agree to his request. Did not just agree to his request, but demanded that he should provide an eye as part of needed substances for making the charms. You may be imagining what happened next. So am I. Well, Tari Asade as I invite Yahana to Hassan and Kanu to complete this stranger than fiction story.
It is another tragic story of man inhumanity to man at Kwanar Dansinke, a suburb of Kano metropolis. This time around, a 12-year-old boy was found with blood gushing out of his eye. And on close examination, it was discovered that the eye was plugged out. A suspect was identified by vigilante personnel and his particulars forwarded to the police, who subsequently went after him.
They went to the scene and rushed the victim to Murtala Muhammad Specialist Hospital here in Kano State, where a medical doctor confirmed that the right eyeball of the victim was possibly removed using a sharp object, and he was subsequently admitted at the said hospital. Since then, the police launched investigation into this case.
He turned out to be the 17-year-old Isa Hassan, who was on a ritual mission. Isa Hassan confessed to have requested the services of this other suspect, Fred Abdullahi, a centenarian ritualist, to make fetish charm for him that will give him the power to disappear whenever he wishes. In order to prepare the charm, she requested him to get an eye of a human.
After removing the eye, I took it to her, but she said I must attach 500 naira to it. Then looked for the eye later, but could not see it.
More disturbing is how he deceived the little boy with a token and used a sharp knife to accomplish his mission.
I didn't do anything to him, he just removed my eye.
Fred Abdullahi, who has more than 50 grandchildren, denies her involvement in the mischievous act.
He only came to me for traditional healing of a wound. I was not the one that asked him to pluck someone's eye.
The police, upon completion of investigation, will charge the suspect to court for prosecution.
We will follow the story. Now, the rising cases of murder of young innocent girls across the country have become a source of concern to many. Benue State has also been experiencing this ugly and hideous trend, as several of such incidents have been recorded in the recent past. Only recently, a 26-year-old girl was allegedly lured to a timely death at a hotel in Makurdi. Sandra Akeme has been following the story and reports that the Benue State Police Command, who confirmed the incident, says there were no signs of violence on the victim's body.
The 6-year-old Veronica Tako was until her death a 200-level student of the Benue State University in Makurdi, who also traded in fairly used clothes. According to investigations, Veronica's life was brought to an abrupt end when her lifeless body was found Sunday morning in one Madonna hotel in Yeman area of Makurdi.
I passed through her place and checked on her before, because it is on the way to the house, entering our street. So as I passed by, she was not on seat, and a friend of hers, who operates a POS, they sell together, and she told me she just left. Somebody called her, and she said she will be back in 5 minutes time. But since then, she have not seen her, and I decided to call her number that time and could not get her. They said the phone was switched off.
When I went into the room, my sister was kneeling down and her chest and hands spread wide on the bed, and then she was naked and covered with window curtain.
We are demanding for justice. I know my sister. I know that death is all of us are going to die one day, but the kind of death, the way she died, is not fair.
Newsline visited the scene of the crime and had a chat with the manager of the said hotel.
We did not hear any noise that raised any alarm, no.
There was nothing of such. Everywhere was quiet until the following morning when we discovered everything. Then we handed everything over to the police.
Some two set of guys with a lady came to my shop. They came with 2 bottles of gin. They came and I offered them a seat in my shop. So they finished drinking that set of gin, of which they ordered for Red Train. Then I gave them the 1 bottle of Red Train, the big one. After some hours, I heard a voice, Hulam, Hulam, of which I came out. Then I saw a lady by the side, 2 guys by the side, holding a lady which was backing me. I believe she was high. So I said, maybe this one is drunk. So I went back inside, attending to my customers. I think that was all I know about her. I don't know where they took her to.
The Benue State Police Command, who confirmed the incident, disclosed that the late Veronica's body had since been deposited at the mortuary in a private hospital in the state capital, and that 3 persons have so far been arrested in connection with the incident.
We're going to carry out investigations into this matter. Doctors will come in to assist us find out the cause of death.
Hospital officials were not available for comments when the Newsline crew called on the facility for updates on the cause of Veronica's death.
We are on the story, but note that safety and should be a watchword, really, honestly. Scary times. The most frightening thing about murderers is the fact that they are human beings like their victims. More frightening is when youths who symbolize innocence indulge in murder, an act associated with the most ungodly of devilish adults. Imagine then the case of a youth that killed his beloved cousin for just a penny. This is yet another heart-wrenching story from Kanu, as filed by Yahanatu Hassan.
Another round of condolences in the ancient city of Kanu. This was about the time Kanu and indeed the world as a whole were caught by the shockwave of the murder of little Hanifa by the proprietor of her school. In this case, 21-year-old Rukaya Mustafa, a mother of 2, a resident of Dambare quarters in Kano, was found in pool of her blood, gruesomely murdered in broad daylight by unknown murderer. Her 2 children were not spared either by the assailants, though they eventually survived with grievous injuries and were rushed for medical attention. No abduction was reported and nothing got missing in the house except 3 mobile phones that were on charge, 2 of which belonged to neighbors. Neighbors, especially owners of the stolen mobile phones, became suspects and had to help the security operatives with useful information before their innocence was eventually established.
The entire members of our family were disturbed, but we thank God that the person that committed the crime is arrested.
Since the unfolding of the sad news, the Nigeria Police Force launched sustained operations with a view to identifying and tracking the perpetrators of the dastardly acts.
The suspect was arrested after sustained efforts and a prolonged follow-up. He has informed our investigators on how he carried out this dastardly act. Investigation in this case is almost completed.
The search was eventually narrowed down to this principal suspect, an 18-year-old senior secondary student, and his accomplice, a 17-year-old. The suspect confirmed to me that the victim was his first cousin, as her mother and his were sisters. He gave me a graphic details of how he killed her and injured her 2 children of ages 3 and 1.
I used a wooden pistol and hit her on the head. I observed her for some time and then picked up the 3 phones and left.
The husband of the deceased has declined comment on the matter, but some of her neighbors described her as a good-natured, nice fellow. The police will, upon completion of investigations, charge the suspects to court.
The suspects, they need to also take them for mental checkup. I mean, it's not normal. We'll take a break now. Welcome back. The remains of the late founder and general overseer of the New Testament Christian Mission International, Pastor Moses Popola, have been laid to rest in Ilorin, the Kwara state capital. Olajide Bello reports that the week-long funeral rites for the renowned man of God attracted sympathizers from within and outside the country.
Hope of the believer is that one day we are going to rise up physically like Christ in his physical body.
Moses Rahman Popola is a household name in Kwara State and Nigeria, courtesy his soul-touching television outreach and evangelism. Little wonder the number and caliber of people from across Nigeria and beyond that graced a week-long activities in honor of the late man of God. A variety of night of testimonies and praise nights were held at the headquarters of the New Testament Christian Mission International in Ilorin. Men of God from across the country and beyond, families and sympathizers paid glowing tributes to the man they referred to as a general in the vineyard of God.
And I see not only his life of sacrifice, I see not only his life of humility, I see not only the dependency and the grace, but I see the depth of love in the disciples.
Daddy is a man of humility. I will learn that from his life. He's a man of peace.
When he hears anything about Umana, he comes quickly to see that something positive is done by him.
As a man deeply connected to his roots, a brief lying-in state was held in Omaro for his kinsmen to bid him farewell to the great beyond. It was a sober and emotional moment at the Tanke house of Pastor Popola, where his body was committed to Mother Earth, and dust-to-dust rite was performed by his immediate family and pastors of NTCM.
He puts me first as a wife. He puts me first after God. He wants my comfort above all others. When we had only a car, he allowed me to drive the car.
He's influenced my life. The way I see Christ is different, and I intend to carry on that legacy by following Christ.
Daddy was not just a biological father for me, he was also a spiritual father.
He's my mentor, he's my pastor, he's my everything.
He loved me, he cared for me. I don't know how to describe his love for me. Thank you, Grandpa, for taking care of me.
He loves me and he took care of me, and I will miss him greatly.
Grandpa is loving, is caring, and it's always fun to be with.
Pastor Moses Rahman Popola died on the 19th of January 2022, and he is survived by pastor wife, children, and grandchildren.
So rest in peace. Amen. This is where we'll end Newsline today. Thank you for being a part of it. Join us Sunday next week. And remember that the fastest and easiest way to becoming a star is to connect with the NTA to stand against rape and rapists. See you again Sunday next.